Go live. Hey folks, I am back. I'm setting up my page, Uranus and Taurus Retrograde with Elaine Marolakos Edelson and Astrology Mojo. So we're talking about freedom today, passion, values, breaking the ties that bind. How can I help you? That's the question. So I'm so excited. Today is Monday, August 6th, and we are having an eclipse on Saturday in the sign of Leo. And so I just want to remind everyone, if you haven't seen any of my live streams before, please check out the one, especially on the Leo eclipse, which was the last one I did, because that's going to give you some clues on how to handle things so you don't blow a gasket or melt the pavement or use laser beams against someone you don't care about. It's about using your power in wonderful, eclectic, dramatic ways, but not so much for, getting those passive-aggressive needs met. We have to be careful of that. So check out those live streams that I've done already. And I've got my water here. I've got my notes set up. And I'm so happy that you have shown up today. And I hope you're happy and feeling excited to be alive. In the next 40 minutes, I am going to cover what Uranus, not Uranus, but Uranus, it means heavens in Greek, plural, what Uranus and Taurus in retrograde is going to mean for a lot of people. And we've got Luann here and Kathy and it's Kimberly. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me. A little housekeeping. I need to cover this in every call, every live stream, that to listen to this event, just make sure you click the speaker icon below the video and turn up the volume so you can hear me. And if you do have a question, I'm happy to take a question. Please keep your commentary kind of short because it scrolls and I don't have the time to read everything. But if you give me your birthday in number form, as in if it's May 5th, it's 5/5, or if it's January 17th, it's 1/17. But your birthday along with a question, then I'm happy to read you. If you just give me your birthday, it's a lot of work for me because there's thousands of people with the same birthday. So I want you to give me your question so I can read your energy. So that's what we're looking at right now. Let's see. I've had so many amazing sessions with folks this week. And they're still available, those 30-minute sessions. You can click the Buy Now button to get your private time with me. And, it's typically it's $197 to spend 30 minutes with me because we go in, we go deep, we go wide. But I'm making this affordable for people for $97, and it's available through August 11th. That is Saturday. And what's going to be key during this time frame, as I was telling everyone I've been reading so far, is that when you look at what you think you know about life, it's all going to change. So your karma is going to start changing. And it's important that this particular phase, right now we're in 5 retrogrades, 3 eclipses. This particular phase is what is going to happen to you. How can you move your energy to become more responsible with your energy, your thoughts, your feelings, and what you'd like to contribute to this earth instead of spiraling in the same thing over and over and over again? It's about breaking the chains that bind. That is Uranus. That is going to help you. Now, just a reminder, folks, the planets don't do anything to you. No. And you live in a cooperation with your cosmos. When the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that because we live in a cooperation. Mirror, mirror on the cosmic wall. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of chatting and hold your questions just for now because I'm going to get to them in about 10 minutes or so. Uranus in Taurus in retrograde. Those are three separate things. Let's cover that one at a time. Now, technically, the retrograde begins tomorrow, August 7th, 2018, and moves all the way through November 6th, 2018. That's the first retrograde. Then Uranus is going to retrograde back into Aries between November and March 2019. And that is its last stint in Aries until another 84 years from now. So long, farewell. I'm sure a lot of Aries are like, shoot, that's done. Okay. Now, but what I'm mostly concerned with right now, and I'll do another Facebook Live that deals with Uranus retrograding back into Aries for those Aries or Aries rising, Aries moon folks. But we're going to talk about the Taurus energy. And technically, it takes about 7 years for Uranus to pass through one constellation. That means one sign. And so during the time frame that Uranus is going to be in the sign of Taurus, there's going to be a lot of resistance toward a new, I want to say regime, and that sounds political. And it might be, but regimen. How's that? So let's do a couple of symbols. Oh, first of all, this is what Uranus looks like. And I'm going to move that up so you can see it. And this is what Taurus looks like. So I can move that up too. Okay? And then there's me sitting on Saturn because I'm a Capricorn rising. Haha. Hi, Courtney. Hi, Kate. Hi, Allison. I'm glad everybody's joining us today. So Uranus is a planet that was discovered in 1781, I believe. And it is become the advent of technological revolution. Now, before we had electricity, what was the technology? You know, people built carts with wheels, and sometimes they added an extra wheel, and it would go a little faster or smoother. And go, yeah, that's, great technology. Or water systems, or, so wait, oops, let me come back to me. Okay, so these are the definitions of Uranus. Now, again, it's a Greek word, and it means heavens. That's plural. And it represents technology, as I said, and erratic or rebellious attitudes, space, both inner and outer. And I'm going to talk about outer space in just a few minutes. Freedom, humanitarian acts. And sometimes I like to say that Uranus is the energy that invented the slavery chain, but also invented the bolt cutter. So that sometimes the idea to amass a fortune means to, step on people up to the top of the ladder. And then suddenly that person becomes a humanitarian and they go through a transition and they start contributing back to the planet. So Uranus has a very extreme energy. You want to be careful with Uranus, especially if you have Uranus in the first house in astrology. My daughter does. I have some clients who do, and sometimes they just, they have to do it now. It's like, get on a motorcycle now. I got to start it now. So we want to calm down the extremes. Humanitarian acts, as I said, revolution as in re-evolution, astrology, spirituality, music, electric, and vibrational healing. And Taurus is, if you know any Taurians, I'm a Taurus. My husband will be laughing at this. He's a Taurus rising, so it's a different energy. But Taurus is really not the ideal placement for Uranus because Taurus represents loyalty, moving at a slower pace, stubborn or resistant attitudes, endurance and tenacity. We do have that. Art, beauty, food, finances, sensuality, romance, values, and security. Now, just imagine, I want you to imagine this, that you're an artist at the turn of the last century, and you're painting a landscape by a beautiful lake, and, the birds are chirping, and the breeze is blowing, and you've just had a picnic, and, taking a nap right about now feels so right. But then out from the heavens descends a spaceship and it hovers over the lake and you hear a booming voice in no particular gender that says, "Are you ready for the truth?" So yeah, that's what it's like to have Uranus and Taurus. because nothing starts or stops on a dime in this universe. Maybe you're already undergoing a transition and it's not so shocking. Or, like, oh, I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe they just said that. So we want to calm it down a little bit and see what Uranus and Taurus means for you. What are you gearing toward? What is it that you've been hoping to achieve? You want to write these things down. Now, sidebar, interrupting myself again as usual. We found out about a stand-up comic. Now, my husband's a stand-up. He's a former stand-up, but we don't stop laughing in this house. We're all, my daughter, Aaliyah, my husband, Dean, and I, we're always seeing the humor in things and looking to transform through humor. And so we discovered Iliza Schlesinger on Netflix, her latest special. She is brilliant. She's a brilliant storyteller, and we highly recommend that you take a gander. She does this one bit about scoping out guys in order to, if you're single, and to become not single anymore, and how the woman turns into like this futuristic robotic thing, scanning for technical and physical abnormalities. She goes through this whole thing. It's very funny. Anyway, that was my little rant on comedy. So what will we be doing during this Uranus and Taurus phase, especially now through November 6th? Well, when a planet moves from direct to retrograde motion is the time you feel it the most. Usually that's now. August 7th is tomorrow, and that is when Uranus will be entering the sign, will be entering retrograde motion. So this is when we notice something. We have a time alteration, something, strange out of the blue. Remember, out of the blue is all shades of your unconscious state. So something comes up, something happens, and we see it as separate, okay? But we're not separate from it. So if you're not paying attention, watch out for the light that turns green, okay? That's what I'm saying. If you're not paying attention, your Uranus represents that, oh, what's that outrageous thing happening outside? Oh, there's a fire in the neighborhood, and you're cutting something and, ouch. So you want to be careful of these things, okay? And not just get taken away or swept away with the melodrama. I talked about melodrama and drama in the last one. And you want to focus on, with Uranus, what does it represent for you? Are you upgrading technology in your house? Or are you learning how to use a computer or an application? Are you thinking of taking your business to the next level? Are you thinking of, you can't get to the counselor. Perhaps you can Skype, so there's technology coming in to help you heal. If you're into music, you can use music as a meditation or to start chanting. I chant often, especially when I'm alone in the car. And that's a technological thing, but it also helps me feel like I am moving, not my energy, not just going to the market, but I am moving stuckness in me. A mantra is a meditation for the mind. It helps to redirect the mind. That's what a mantra does. So I want you to start creating a mantra for this particular Uranus and Taurus retrograde. And we want to focus on beauty, art, finances, food, technology, of course. We want to focus on music and art and the things that become beautiful to you. Meditation, maybe it's Tai Chi, maybe you need motion in your meditation. So looking at all these things is possible. And then I want you to calm down the defenses, because everyone right now is heightened. There's a lot going on out there. We need to calm it down. If you're just joining me, my live stream, thank you for showing up. We're talking about Uranus and Taurus going retrograde tomorrow, August 7th, 2018 through November 6th, 2018. And then it's going to retrograde back into Aries for 6 months. Wait. November, December, January, February, March. 4 months, sorry. And then Aries will get that last jolt of, how do I make this change? What do I need to do? And it's like a push to move forward. We'll talk about that in November. So I am going to take some questions. Here goes. Jesse, hi. 4/1876. Got to grab my notepad so I can write this down. La, la, la. So Jesse, 4/1876. Well, you are an Aries, and Any insights? Well, the Capricorn moon, I think we talked about last time or the time before. And as an Aries with a Capricorn moon, it's helpful to come out of your shell and start trusting more. And with meditation, says Phyllis, she needs help with meditation. Okay, so great, because I'm going to talk about meditation. If you are someone who constantly moves and you can't stop moving, or you're always busy, like, you've got the things, next on my list, check it off, go. Well, I want you to be able to think of meditation in different ways. You don't always have to be sitting with your legs crossed, and, the peaceful. We don't always have peaceful. We can't always have, the ideal is being able to meditate in the middle of chaos. This is what Uranus brings up. What's the chaos in your life? If you can get calm in that moment, you can settle. And how to do that is by focusing your breath and your mind, taking an inhalation, an exhalation, and not reacting. Responding, yes, not reacting. So 4/18 Aries, during the months of November through March, Jesse, you're going to be able to look at what's been holding you back and what you're afraid of and why you push beyond the limits when you don't have all the information. So not having all the information sometimes means you're eager, you're excited, you want to get going. Oh, that's okay. I'll get the directions along the way. But with the Capricorn moon, it's, especially with the Scorpio rising, you're in somebody's face. And you want to back up. Let the world come to you now. And that's not easy because that involves trust. So if you can, and I'm talking to everybody now, if you can please take a moment in between the moments and say to yourself, I don't know how I feel right now. That's okay. You acknowledge what's happening in the moment. I feel really ticked off. Back up, take a breath. What's the issue? And it can be recurring. Again, with all these retrogrades, it's all recurring. We've had this conversation before, people. Don't you understand? Back in the 412, I was sitting in a loincloth and you were all sitting around me and we were like, yes, why do you persecute me so? Okay, this is not about persecution, which comes up during a Uranus retrograde. And I want you to see that you have the ability to focus. Courtney says, my mind is so scattered. 5/3. Honey, we come from the same tribe. I am 5/3 as well. Okay, Jesse, I hope that helps you to sit back, take a breath, name your feelings, stop pushing forward, see what comes back to you. Courtney, your mind is scattered. Mine is too. I had to write all my notes out up until 2 minutes before I started this live stream. My mind is scattered. So, Courtney, you are in a number 1 year. It was tough last year for you. I want you to focus on how you can take the lessons that you learned, boys and girls and pronouns of other genders. Can you please take a moment to think about where are you headed? I think it was Yogi Berra who said, if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? So Courtney and everyone else, if you would like to move in a particular direction and you say, okay, I want to up my business, acumen. I want to learn something online. I want to do this. I want to become adept at fill in the blank. What you can do is write down a list of top 3 to 5 things that are productive tasks toward that goal. What can you do toward that goal? A retrograde, and we're in 5, thank you, about to go into 6, helps you to organize what you're really feeling. So, but first, chaos knocks on the door, and chaos comes calling and says, well, what's up? And you're like, I don't know. I don't know what I want. I don't know where I'm going. Oh, look what's over there. Hey, let's just binge watch something because it's easier. And sometimes you just got to calm it down. Focus, write it down. What is the thing that you want to accomplish? And then stop thinking, hello, people, especially, what do we have? Everyone I see on this list is a woman or female. And usually, and there can be guys, great, thanks for showing up. Usually it's the woman who thinks they have to do, if you worked in a corporation, you would be the president, the CFO, the janitor, the chef in the kitchen. You would be everybody. So I want you to pick a role that really makes you feel powerful. Just the role that speaks to you, that says, this is me right now. And I said in the last stream, my husband said, I can't see your hands, you got to lift them up. Okay, I said in the last stream that, especially for Gemini, people Gemini rising, but for everybody really, if you have a lot of stuff to do and you're feeling like toast, stop. Capricorn energy does this like a pro. Ask me how I know. I'm a Capricorn rising. So Capricorn moon, rising, sun, basically everybody with tenacity, everybody who's trying to caretake everybody else, you need to slow it down and ask yourself, am I done? Am I done with this? No, it's not done. I'm done. Take a break. Listen to some music. We want to fill in the blanks. When I give private readings, I look at the contradiction. I'm really adept at hearing the contradiction. Someone might say, oh yeah, I worked that out, years ago, did in therapy. It's like, great. So then we start talking, we go along, but yet they have this consistent problem or issue. And I'll say, well, okay, you did a lot of great work and I'm in awe of you, but you're not done. You're not done with that one issue. So let's get in there. Let's find what is the space between the gaps. What is that? That's where I go and say, oh, you may not know or have seen this or recognize this, but this is where we need to go to help you heal that wound, bridge that gap so that you can move on. I just moved my planets. Wait a minute. Everything's backwards here. Okay. These are my planets my husband bought for me. So you want to be able to move forward, but first you got to go back and say, what's the thing? Why do I keep going around, 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 right? So I hope that helps. Thank you, Courtney says that's amazing. Okay. Luann does yoga and meditation every day. Wonderful. And let me just say that anything you put let me start over. Anything you do that you think is just for you is actually putting energy into the world. So, Luann, I want to thank you on behalf of all of those people, sometimes me included, who are feeling scattered, disconnected, or detached. Your meditation and your yoga calms down the energy. I want you to look at it not so much in extremes, but if we were to watch like an Avengers movie or Guardians of the Galaxy, there's always good. This has been like the epic tale of humanity since the beginning of time. Good versus evil, right? So now it's going to be your head versus your heart. Your spirit is hanging back going, look, I'm the cosmos. I'm the ether in which you live, provide your resources, contribute to the earth, have your temper tantrums and your hissy fits. I'm the space. You can use my energy, you can power up, or you can power down. And during this Uranus in Taurus is very, practical, and we can be very stubborn. I'm a Taurus, I know. Taurus is a very loyal energy. It's steadfast and true, and please don't hurt me or betray me because I'll feel, but then Uranus comes in and says, I'm going to elbow you aside. We got to get going. Let's go. And so, you start to do this and say, and you don't have to be a Taurus or a Taurus rising to feel this. That's what I'm talking about. The energy affects all of us. So when you're looking to do something, and I'm just glancing down. Yes, you're welcome. So when you're looking to do something to bring the energy back to center, think of your brain as a computer. All right, you've heard this before, right? I'm not the first one to say it. Think of your brain as a computer, and the download that you need to do in order to upgrade your own technology, that means your belief system, your value system. What do you have going on in your head? You've got one voice that says, yeah, I just got to keep working, make my money, blah, blah, blah. And then the other voice that says, slow down. We need to redirect your resources and that's your resources. Resources are your money, your energy, your time, your thoughts, your talents. Where can we put those energies? Where can we put those things? Not everyone on this earth is going to stand on a stage and have the masses before them. But when you think one thought and you go to the supermarket and that thought is resonating a frequency, it is your frequency, but I feel it. So, let's step it up, people. I want to feel happy. So forget your troubles. Come on, get happy. And now we're going to feel our stuff. But that doesn't mean we can't turn it around. We can't change it. My bangs are growing and now they're in front of my eyes all the time. So let me get back to my notes before I space out even more. I want to help you get your mojo back, people. Mojo. You know, somebody asked me, they said, oh, I really like the name, because it used to be Astrology Channel, etc. was my website. Now it's Astrology Mojo. And someone said, oh, I really like that. What is that? And I said, well, I worked it out numerologically, but basically it's an homage to my parents, Molly and John. My sister and I would say, oh, I wonder how the mojo's doing. But both are now passed on, and they are in the ethers, and they are doing wonderful. And so I decided to name my business in part to honor them, what they taught me, and how I can move my energy beyond what they were taught. You know, the children being born today, and that includes the last 20 years, their brains are hardwired differently. They are overcome with stress. They have anxiety, and a lot of people don't understand that. And that's because the cellular technology in their body, how they are wired, what they're made of, and what they're here to do is so sensitive, and so there are no words sometimes. That's why we are inventing new languages right now. Uranus, thank you. We are inventing new languages now in the sign of Taurus for the next 7 years. It's going to become practical, so that when someone says, oh, you know, when you're filling out a form and it says, are you male or female? There's going to be a new box there. Fill in your gender type, fill in your pronoun, because that is a real thing. So there's also going to be, we're talking about space and technology. The inner space is everything I just talked about, using music to resonate your frequency, changing your thoughts, knowing that your thoughts radiate, you know, constantly. So are you thinking just one thing a day? You know, this is not a cartoon. This is real. You know, you're thinking a million thoughts, and some of them aren't even conscious. So we want to get clear. We want as much as possible, right? We want to get clear. We want to get focused. We want to think, okay, I feel like this, right? We go back to, we're going to name our feelings. I feel like crap. Okay. Maybe you need food. Maybe you need water. Maybe you need to lie down. Maybe your adrenals are exhausted. So let's take into account the body. The biology needs something. Then it's the mind. The mind can switch, alter gears in a second, but the body takes a little time to follow. So, you know, Uranus is like, yeah, let's go run and do that new job. But Taurus energy is, wait a minute, I'm still doing the 6 things that I was working on from yesterday. So we have to find the bridge. Take it slow. Name your feelings. Work on what you think you are talented with. And that can mean affecting one person in your life. You affect one person in your life. The stats are, metaphysically, you touch 90,000 people. Is that true? I believe it. Excuse me. Dry out here. Taking a drink. Okay, so, you know, click on the Book Now button and you can get me privately for a hugely discounted, is that a word? Hugely discounted rate of only $97. And for those of you who don't know me or know my work, I am an intuitive, a clairvoyant, an empath. I see, feel, hear, sense, smell. And I work on numerology as well, astrology. So everything that I am in a reading, you get. So I want you to benefit and get your mojo back. I'm going to take questions in just a minute, but remember to book that private session. You only have 6 more days left. The offer comes down on August 11th, the day of the solar eclipse in Leo. And let's see what's going on. Okay, so Ashley, you gave me your birthday, but not a question. So if it would really help me if you're going to, so that I could read you, I would love to read you. Don't just give me your birthday. Please add a question to it because it makes it easier for me. Because I have a lot going on, like I'm focusing on the, you know, the thing and the other thing and the thing and then you and then the live energy and then the technology, you know. My brain's exploding right about now. So Uranus looks like this. And I'm going to move it. There it is. And Uranus retrograde is the RX symbol. And that's the sign of Uranus. That is the symbol. And Taurus looks like this. So Uranus and Taurus retrograde now through November 6th. And then it moves back into the sign of Aries through March 6th, 2019. And then onward into Taurus for 6.5 more years. So that's going to be pretty monumental regarding the space and technology. Okay, wait, hang on. I have to talk about this. I am not a conspiracy theorist by any means, but I hear contradictions or read them, especially when I'm reading people. You know, as I said earlier, they're like, yeah, this is all good, or I'm stuck, and if you don't know where I'm going, blah, blah, blah. So I try to, I go in and I find that. I do my own space exploration. So, but when I'm hearing things in space, I was watching a video about the Orion spacecraft that went up. It did a test run, I think it was last year, in sometime in the summer or September, I'm not sure. But Orion, doing its thing, and SpaceX with Elon Musk, great. NASA's got it going on. I'm so excited to see what's going on. But then I heard a NASA astronaut, talk about the Van Allen belt radiation thing that is between, I think, 600 to 800 miles outside of the Earth's atmosphere. And I'm paraphrasing, but the astronaut said, well, when we can get beyond the radiation belt, we can make it to the moon and Mars and explore the rest of space. And I stopped and I went, wait a second. Wait just a doggone minute. Didn't we do that in the 60s and 70s? I don't know. I don't know if we did. You'll have to do your own research. I make no judgments. I just put out the information and hear the contradictions, folks. We'll see. We'll see what goes on from now on. In the next 6 years, it's going to be amazing what happens with technology. I mean, chips in the back of your head, people in the most remote places of the world right now have cell phones. And kids are being introduced in India to, there's stations, they have these kiosks where kids can get on to a computer and use a computer. They don't have to have one in their homes. And I think that's just brilliant, and just, we're expanding. But here's the caveat. Our technological advancement has exceeded our spiritual awareness. We need to come up to speed. Taurus is what's going to ground us in that the beauty of life symbolism. Uranus is going to help us take off into space. So we need to remember, if you are, see this? You know what this is, right? You've seen these? Okay. This is in our lifetime. These things have come into being. When you see everybody using this instead of interacting with one another, there is something off kilter. Turn this off. The cell disruptors that come out of here, the EMF waves that come out of technology, affect the distance between your cells. There's chaos that goes on. And then at the end of the day, you're just like, I'm wired, I'm tired, I can't focus, I can't think, I have a headache. It's like, well, turn off the technology. Technology is brilliant. We need it. It's going to help us advance into the future. But what does that future look like if we're all of our brains are mush, right? Okay, so if anybody else would like to ask a question, here are the parameters to help me. I want to read you and help you get your mojo back. Give me your birth date in numbers and ask a question. And I'm happy to help you. So my husband Dean is brilliant. He's an Aquarius moon, so Aquarius is guided by Uranus, so he's always coming up with these great ideas and always technological advances and blah. So he sent me this link the other day about a businessman, a very well-known businessman named Henry Weingarten in New York on Wall Street. And he's an investor who uses astrology when he invests for himself and his clients. Only ever, no apologies. He looks at the trends, he looks at what's retrograde, he looks at what happens when things are retrograde. So this is going to be more of the dinner table conversation. It was 22 years ago. No, wait, we moved to Sedona. We've been here 16, 17 years. Okay, so when I was back in New Jersey, and I was in Montclair, I used to work in Montclair, New Jersey, and I had a little studio. And I went to a deli on Grove Street, I think it was. And it was an Italian deli, and I went in for some lunch, and I was standing in line behind a woman, and the guy behind the counter, like a yo buddy, and he was saying, hey, yo, to his brother, hey, what's going on? Is like Mercury retrograde or something? And I just, I wanted to laugh, and I thought that I had never heard that before. And that made me laugh. And I thought, well, now it's so much more common to business people, people you wouldn't normally expect to be using astrological terms to be talking about Mercury in retrograde. Cracked me up. It's going to be more of that. And it's going to be the commonplace thing. You know, when you have a parent-teacher meeting 30 years from now, 20 years from now, 15 years from now, it could be, well, is it possible that your child was born in a Mercury in retrograde? Let's examine this and then give him or her or them a new way of learning. Let's see what we can establish, you know. I think it's so cool. Okay, Venus, the accessorized boutique. My birth date is 11/18, as in November, correct? Because that's a Euro way to do it. So 11/18, 10, 11, that's a 2. You're in a 4-year Venus, feeling anxiety all the time. Okay, well, I want you to explore with your... Oh, whoops, I forgot to turn off the technology. Oh, well. Okay, I just ripped it out of the wall. That's easy. So being stressed out in a 4-year is not uncommon, especially with all these retrogrades. And you being a Scorpio. So in a 4-year, it's all about work and working hard. But I want you to keep this in mind, that a 4-year breaks to a 22, and it's about problem solving through other people. So finding creative solutions, not you the one who has to always do it. You don't have to do all the work. That's too much, right? We're not on the planet by ourselves. We have other people who can help us. So I want you to take it a little bit at a time and see, and start to ask yourself, how can you give up the control by asking someone for help? Someone, you know, you don't ask someone who's down on their luck, who has no money. You don't ask them for financial advice, right? So you want to be smart about it. Ask people who've been there, done that, a mentor, and that ought to help you. So, okay, so Althea says 313, 7. You're in a 9-year, my dear. Tough one, because this is where endings happen in 9 years. And so this is a time to take a step back from tech, because I have to let go so many things which had me wired. Okay, great. So then that means you need to upgrade your internal technology, right? You need to download a new thought process that stops you from going in circles or making it so hard that you can't achieve what you want to achieve, especially in a 9-year. A 9-year is all about endings. 7 years and 9 years are usually harder for people, because you go out into the world pushes back. By the time you're around September, October in a 9-year, you're in your pajamas going, I'm done, I'm so done, I'm so tired. And sometimes people pass away in a 7 and a 9-year, not always, or you decide to leave or divorce, or you decide to clean out the closets and make a whole new start. So 9 years are tough. I know, I just came out of one and my mom passed away. And I'm still dealing with the paperwork. So I want you to look at the 9-year backing away from technology and upgrading by meditating or using chanting to help you to move forward, because that's a vibration that will help you to go forward. Hope joined us. Hi, Hope. I love that word. And your name? You know, when I talk about vibrational healing, I also include all kinds of what is considered to allopathic world, traditional homeopathy, vibrational healing, emotional freedom technique. I've tried and experienced so many things that have helped me. Magnetic resonance, scalar waves. There are so many things in this world that can help you. I want you to start being open. And people say, I don't know, you know, what do I do? How do I start? Okay, I want you to get quiet. I want you to realize that you have power. The power is on the inside, and that you can make a connection to spirit, because you are spirit, to the source, because you are an extension of the light, and that you can have a vibration move up that extension, and then you can have a direct phone call to the cosmos, and do that through meditation, through chanting, through Tai Chi, through Pilates, through yoga, through getting quiet, through Kundalini exercises, and by creating space. You need to create space. And when you create space in your mind and in your body, without the spin of, you know, here's my to-do list, let's check it off, check it off, check it off. It's never going to end. You will always have something to do, right? Because vacuum abhors a space, any space. So we need to fill your space with calm, with peace, with a connection. And then you can actually bring into you, download a new I used to download programs after weeks of meditation. When I was single and before I knew Dean, and even when I just started to know him and before I had a child, I would sit in my little antique house in New Jersey, in Montclair, and I would meditate for 6 hours a day. Or I'd meditate for 3 days a week, so many hours a day, and I would just get quiet. And it wasn't about meditating to solve a problem or to create a visualization. It was just quiet, breathing in and out, connecting to spirit. I would start to get that big feeling where I would expand, and I felt like I was the universe. And then 2 days after that, I'd go to sleep, wake up in the middle of the night. I'd always have a pen and paper handy. And this was before cell phones, and I would write down, and I would just start writing. And I would start downloading information, programs that I could initiate for people. The I am method, if you're a client from a long time ago, you'll remember that as a profound method. The dinner party, all these things come to me after many hours of meditation. Now, okay, Phyllis, 7/7/57, so that's July 7th. 7/7 is 4. I have to add right now. I'm a little spacey. 4, 5, 6. So you're in a 7-year, Phyllis, and a 7-year, as I said, is a tough one. But let me see your question. Worry about your future. Yeah, all my readings are phone or Skype readings. So if you wanted to do a private reading, that's great too. In the meantime, if you start to question your security, this is the time it comes up during this Uranus and Taurus. Taurus is all about security and values. And if you start to question your security, do I feel safe? Do I have enough money? What's going to happen? All these fears are what you're going to project into the future, and then you'll be surrounded by a cloud. So you want to suck it in, blow it out, start to realize that the word disaster is Latin. It comes from the Latin, and it means away from the stars. I want you to come together with your heart, your body, your mind, your spirit, all of it. Come together and say, my needs are met. My needs are met even if I don't know how to meet them. And so what that means is you start to tell the universe, hey, I don't know what's going on, but I trust. So if you start to build an energy field that creates trust, what do you think is going to happen? 5 feet, that energy field expands, in a circular diameter, right? So it goes out, and it goes 10 feet, 20 feet, 50 feet, 1,000 feet. And then somebody moves into that space and says, I heard about someone who lived down the block who blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly you get a phone call from someone and says, hey, I hear you're having a tough time. Or someone says to you, I know someone who can help you. You see, the energy works all together. It's connected. We are not separate, folks. We are not separate from one another, from the universe, from our selves, our true selves, that we're attempting to work out. And sometimes we narrow focus to I can't get my car to work. I don't know how to change a battery. I'm just a woman. I'm so stupid. And we spiral down to this place that is not real. It has nothing to do with the truth. So your truth is you have a fear about, living somewhere you don't want to live because you are physically disabled, but emotionally you're not. You have a huge heart. And the fear is overcoming everything. So I want you to breathe daily, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Start somewhere. Start somewhere. And then check in with yourself every day and start doing a writing exercise. How do I feel now after meditating for 2 minutes? How do I feel now after expanding into the cosmos? Do I feel supported? I support, and then start the mantras, right? It retrains the mind. I am supported, not I will be. That's the future. Future doesn't exist. We're here now. I am supported. I am supported. My needs are met. My needs are met. My needs are met. Even if I don't know how to meet them. That's where we want to start if you're in a place of fear. And so there are places you can contact for financial aid or for local assistance, depending on your neighborhood. So think about that. And the moment you say to yourself, oh no, I called that place, it didn't work, or I can't call them, or, or they won't take my, so then the negativity creates resistance. Remember, Uranus is about breaking the ties that bind, freedom from restriction, and Taurus is about creating a value system, security. but also resistance. So if you have resistance to change, my husband will come up to me and he'll say, oh, I have this great new idea. And I go, what? And he'll tell me, I go, no, not right now. And he'll say, but I haven't finished. And I say, but you gave me 6 things to do yesterday. I'm a Taurus, remember? I'm an overload. Slow down. One thing at a time. Let me digest it. Let me feel it through. Let me have a cup of tea around it. Let me think about it. So sometimes we can't do that all the time because Uranus in Taurus in your chart, in a personal chart, will show me exactly where it's going to be happening and what it looks like. And there are, if you're familiar with astrology, there are 12 houses in astrology. Each embody the entire scope of your world. Everything from finances, sex, health, romance, friends, relationships, contracts, career, ambition, psychology. I mean, it just covers everything. So what you want to do right now is think about what's the most predominant issue on my plate. And I'm only getting, Taurus loves to eat, so I'm only going to take a few bites and say, how do I feel? If I don't feel good, I want to keep moving forward. Oh, Lenore, thank you for your work. You're welcome, Lenore. I didn't write the number down, and the names are passing by me so quickly. Did I already talk to you, Lenore? If I didn't, please ask a question. You say 429, but I don't know what the question is. So if you still want to ask a question, please do. Let me get back to my notes after a sip of water. I hope this is helping. Please show me in, like little thumbs up or little hearts or say thanks. So I know that you're there. Sometimes I don't see anything in the beginning of some of the Facebook streams. I don't see anything and I think, no one's there. Hello, hello, hello. And then suddenly I realize, oh, wait a minute. I just can't see you, but I know that you're there. I know you're there. I can see you in a different way. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel those hearts. Man, I feel that. Thank you. Keeps me going. Keeps me going. Happy thumbs up, smiley faces. Oh, I appreciate that so much. I think it was, wow, so many years ago, I used to watch Second City Television, and I don't know if it was Catherine O'Hara, but somebody used to imitate Joey Heatherton. She was a singer back in the 60s or 70s, and she used to say, oh, thank you, I love you so much, I want to bear all your children. That's how I feel. Thank you for this. Thank you, thank you. Jennifer Meadows. Universe seems to be sending feedback that I am in a time of having been reborn. Interested in your observation. Reborn, 8877. Wow, a lot of double power numbers. J, 8, 8, 16, 7, 8, 9, also a 9 year. You know what, folks? Sometimes I have to revert to the technology at hand because my brain doesn't work sometimes. When I start reading people, the more I read people, the less I can do math, and the more numbers and letters start to look the same to me. Everything starts to swim around, and I go, wow, that looks trippy. Okay, so 8 plus 8 and 7 and 9. Yeah, okay. Just validating myself. 9 year. 9 year. And a 9 year, as I said earlier, in case you didn't hear, is a tough year because you're thinking about what doesn't work anymore. What tires you, what redirects you. You're coming up on a 1 year, and usually around August and September of a 9 year. And I said it to the person born 3/13. I didn't write your name down. I'm sorry, I forgot. But I think it's really important that you stand back, and it being, you're right at the eclipse too. Even though you're a Leo but not born on the day of the eclipse, you are so affected by this eclipse. And a solar eclipse in the sign of Leo is right on top of you. And so it's going to shed light on everything you are and would like to be and are becoming. So, wow, that's a whole game show in and of itself. So what do you want to do with that information? Where do you want to go? How do you want to do it? And these are the questions that come up. So I think it's important that you just take the time, especially, and I said this in the last Facebook live stream, the 10th, 11th, and 12th are going to be the most intense days. Now today, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th are also very intense because this is when Uranus begins its alteration in our perception. as it goes retrograde. So what you're going to see is suddenly everything that's been moving so fast comes to a halt. Everything that's been so slow suddenly speeds up, and then in one day there's a rush of things and you're like, I can't handle it. I'm going to lose my mind. And where's the vodka? Okay. We want to stay away from extremes. We want to know that we are in control. We are in control of so much, not of you, of other people. We are in control of our emotions and our thoughts. That's what you can control, your emotions and your thoughts. Breathe deeply. Take a moment. Put on some music. Write down after a quiet meditation, what came up for me? What are my greatest fears? What are my greatest joys? Now, we're going to add a little science to this because this is about Uranus. But right now, Phyllis is asking, how can I get in touch? Well, on my Facebook business page, I don't see what you're seeing, folks, so please forgive. On my Facebook business page, you will see under the banner a Book Now button in the right-hand side. And you can click that and fill out the form, and that's how you can book a 30-minute session with me for $97. I typically charge $197 for 30 minutes, and that offer goes away on Saturday. So please take advantage of it, and I will do my best to give you everything to help you get your mojo back. So that's what I'm going to be doing there. Now, technology. Using your own thoughts, using meditation, can help bridge those gaps I talked about earlier. But also, Uranus is a sudden energy. So when the 6th, 7th, and 8th of this week, we start something changes, something shifts, and it can be with our body. It can be a huge aha. It can be if you're not paying attention and you've been spinning out of control and you are not physically healthy. This is the week, the month that you get a big stop sign thrown in front of you. And we don't want to see that happen by way of accidents or mishaps or extremes that you cannot control. So what you can do to control your environment is, because we're talking about Uranus, and Uranus represents technology, and that means metaphysical technology is downloading information into your brain through meditation, through using chanting. And the technology in your brain, they're called neurons and chemicals, right? And so this comes straight from the neurological world. And if you've ever seen a neuron, you can Google what it looks like. But basically, let's just imagine this is the neuron, and these are the electrical impulses shooting off of the neuron. When you have a neuron, and in that neuron, it has a thought that says, I'm not enough. It'll never happen. It's not enough. Might as well give up. All the downers, all the negatives, all the it's not working. When you have that neuron then gives birth to a baby neuron, and it's so cute. But the electrical impulse from the big mama daddy neuron is now recreated in the baby neuron. Eventually, you have an entire community of neurons saying, why bother? Just give up. Leave the earth. Go now. It's better that way. I mean, that's what goes on in our unconscious state sometimes. So you have to grab hold of that through meditation. And then with that thought, you might hear, I'm not enough. And you say, I am supported. It'll never happen. I am love, not loved, love. And love is the most powerful thing in the universe. Now I should have like flashing lights and things, but you have to retrain your brain and start creating new neurons that tell you it's okay. I'll tell you, it's okay. You're okay. In your deepest, darkest, worst moment, I've been there. It's okay. You will come out of it. And if you do, and I have had clients before who were at end stage cancer, or clients who were ready to move on but scared because they weren't sure what was next, I would help to bridge that gap as well. What is the worst that could happen? Think about it now. I'm starting to sweat. What is the worst that could happen? Well, I lose my job. Okay, and then what? Well, then I won't have any money. Okay, then what? Then they shut off the phone and they kick me out of the apartment. Okay, then what? Well, then it starts to get ridiculous in your head, right? Because I keep asking, then what? Well, then I go get another job. Okay, well, let's just say everybody turns you down. No references. You can't get another job. Then what? Well, I don't know. I asked to borrow money. They can't give it. They don't have it. They won't do it. Then what? So imagine the worst negatives coming together in a then what situation. And keep going until you're living on the street in a box with disease. Then what? And then you die. Okay, then what? Then what? That's what I want you to think about. What happens then? What happens next? Do you think you kick yourself and say, oh, I should have answered that email. I wish I bought those shoes. They were on sale. It's like, what have I done with my energy? This is what's going to come up for you. What have I done with my energy? Who am I really? What do I want to be doing? And how can I do it in the most compassionate way possible without the fear? We all are going to have fear. Just because people meditate 1,000,000 hours a day or a swami's in robes, it doesn't mean that they don't experience fear. Fear then, at that point, it's just an energy that floats by. If you don't attach to it, it doesn't become your definition, okay? Think about that. So let me get back to how you can contact me is through the Book Now button at the top of the page. And I will give you everything I am, astrology, numerology, empathy, clairvoyance, intuition, to help you get your mojo back in 30 minutes or less. Let's see what we can do. Okay. That was fast, right? That was an hour. Okay, folks, I'm going to take the rest of the week off to do actual readings with people, and I'm going to be back next Monday for a surprise chat with Astrology Mojo. So, Jennifer says, awesome. Yes, you are in a cycle. Okay, so no push-pull. We don't force the river. Do what you can. And remember, ponder this, that you are in the present moment, and now is the only time that exists. What do you want to do with this moment? Take it into the next moment, and then the next moment, and the next moment, and eventually you have a whole string of moments called a memory that was happy. Yay! Be well, be sparkly. Come back next Monday. I will Monday, August 13th. You know what? I will notify you on my Facebook page as to the time. All right? Stay present, everyone. Be well, and thank you for showing. Thank you for being. Thank you for showing up. I wish you well.